Ah, now that's exactly the kind of ending you want in the penultimate episode of your series. The Master ascendant, the Doctor completely and utterly defeated, Earth totally under the control of the Toclafane with no hope of rescue. Ah, good stuff. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. It's been 10 years since the Master was in the TV movie with the Eighth Doctor, and really 20 years since the Master was in a regular classic series episode, the final episode of the classic series Survival. And this return is perfect. And of course, it had to happen at this point to honor those anniversaries. And John Simm is absolutely brilliant as the Master. In some ways, he's completely different than the other earlier incarnations. He really, personality-wise, has nothing in common with Roger Delgado or Anthony Ainley. And yet, he's still the same megalomaniac Master that he's always been. John Simm brings an impish glee to the character, a master of chaos, almost a Loki-type character. This is just the perfect return story for the Master. It's a convoluted, complex plan that involves wit and charm and hypnotism and crazy Time Lord science and outmaneuvering the Doctor, and every single bit of it is perfect. Best of all, not a Dalek in sight, although on that count it's worth mentioning the Toclafane, the alien sphere things from this story, were originally created as an alternative for the Ninth Doctor story, Dalek. See, at the time it was being written, they weren't 100% certain whether or not they'd be able to get the rights from the Terry Nation estate to have the Daleks in modern Doctor Who. And so Russell T Davies kind of built a trapdoor. He built this other alien race encased in metal, the Toclafane. And had they not been able to negotiate with the Nation estate, Dalek would have been Toclafane. I think it would have been called Metaltron. And that would have been the big bad for the series. But since they got the rights to the Daleks, they used them, and they used them again, and then they used them again. But here we don't have Daleks, we have Toclafane, and that makes me beyond happy. Another interesting thing about this story, and yesterday's and tomorrow's as well, the opening credits includes John Barrowman before the title. And that's a spot that up until now has only been reserved for the Doctor's primary companion. So for Series 1, it was Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper. For Series 2, it was David Tennant and Billie Piper. And for Series 3, up until yesterday's story, it's been Freema Agyeman and David Tennant. But starting with yesterday's story and continuing through tomorrow's, John Barrowman is added in those credits as a full-fledged companion. And that's a trend that will continue forward. So when we get to the climax of the next season, when a whole bunch of characters are brought back, all of them appear pre-title credits. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, one other interesting thought on this story. The whole thing about the sound of drums, that drum beat that the Master keeps hearing in his head over and over again. Bum-bum-bum-bum, bum-bum-bum-bum, bum-bum-bum-bum. And of course, when that aired, everybody assumed that beat was derived from the iconic Doctor Who theme music, and rhythmically it fits. But interestingly, that is not actually where Russell T Davies got that rhythm. Instead, it came from an electronic alarm that he had that beeped in that rhythm, that kind of drove him insane whenever it went off. And as a matter of fact, they used that alarm at one point in the story where a bomb is taped to the back of Martha's television set, and it makes that beep, 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 beep. That is the source of the drums in this soundtrack. So there you go. It's just perfect synchronicity that it happens to tie in to the title theme. And that's it for today. I am exhausted. That is the farthest I've gone on a single day on treadmill in ages, and I feel great. And I'm going to go cool off. I will see you tomorrow with the season finale, The Last of the Time.